Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to have the next tasting of beer number 3 in my Centennial Cascade series. What that is we started with smash beers, then I picked 2 classic hops, Cascade and Centennial, to make around 20 batches, I think it was, and just play with malts and oats and adjuncts and all that. So this is beer number 3, 2 pounds, 4 ounces of 2-row, 8 ounces of flaked oats. What I wanted to see was, is there a line that if you go too high with the oats, does it come out bad? So for the hop schedule on this, this is a small batch, 1.25 gallons going into the carboy, 0.25 ounces of Centennial at 60, 0.25 ounces of Cascade at 10, 0.25 ounces of Centennial at 5, dry hopped with both Centennial and Cascade, 0.25 ounces of each, 3 days into fermentation. This was bottled on 8/12/2019. 6.5 bricks, 7.68% ABV. This was brewed on 7/28/2019. This will probably be the last tasting of this. Good smoke, some hiss, but I think going longer could tell us something, because if you haven't, I would go back and watch those other ones first. The first couple. This one was very, very thick. Didn't really taste that good from what I can remember. Now, I do not watch the videos before I do the reviews, like the older ones. So this should be interesting. Looks a lot clearer than before. We do have a little bit of head, white bubbles on top, small and medium bubbles, about a half a finger of head. Color, yellowish in color, pretty clear. It does have some chill haze, lots of bubbles coming up. I can see the light box and the bell sticker on the wall, so that is a good sign. If anything, I would say that protein has come out of the oats and cleared it up a little bit. I think this has been refrigerated for 2 days before doing this. If you haven't been following from the beginning, oats do add a sugar content. As you'll see, I'm gonna also drink beers 4 and 5 out of this 2-hop series today. And if you watch them in order, you'll see sometimes the ABV drops, and especially in this one, from beers 1 and 2, it actually went up because of the sugar in the oats. Let's go ahead and smell. I am getting that floral. I usually get that out of Cascade and Centennial combined with a little bit of like sweet citrus, maybe like a honey citrus, like it is starting to age, which it should after this long. Aging just a little bit, starting to bring out more of that sweet malt. And as I've seen in the other ones, usually beers that have that honey sweetness to them, almost like a honey water, tells me that they are starting to go downhill a little bit. Now, that would be a different story if we used honey grain in here and you wanted that, but this is, like I said, just using 2-row and flaked oats, and I'm getting some of that sweet honey smell, so I'm saying it's probably going downhill a little bit. The floral and citrus smell are like medium. It's not blowing your face off. It's not real faint where you have to stick your nose way down into the glass. So I like that smell as of right now. I think it's good mixing with that sweet honey. Let's go ahead and taste. That floral citrus mix, you get a little sweetness, a little graininess, a little bitterness in the back. Aftertaste is more of a citrus, like a sweeter citrus bitterness in there. Very carved. Smooth. which I would expect using oats. It should smooth out the beer a little. Head is dying down, lots of bubbles still coming up. Yeah, like in the back with some of that bitterness, you're getting some of that honey sweetness in there. I wouldn't say it's a graininess like a couple of the other ones that I've tried that have been older. But I think I like that floral citrus up front, then some of that sweet honey bitterness in back. Aftertaste, it's like the bitterness is like building. I can feel it more, but I still get some of that floral citrus, which you would expect. Carbonation level is probably a little too high, but it's what, 4, 5, 6, 7 months old right now. So that carbonation level is going to build. I would suggest if you're making like an IPA or a pale ale, not to overcarb them right away, or make sure you drink them before like 6 months or something, just so you don't have bottle bombs. But I think this one turned out well. This one did better with age. I will go back and watch the first video. And for you, for a refresher, I would say go back and watch it too, because these beers have changed. Usually in homebrewing, what they say, if it doesn't taste good, let it sit 3, 6 months. Excuse me. Because they can change, and I think this is better now, but I think you have to be a bitterness fan. It does seem to me that that bitterness level has climbed, and that's one thing I thought would be reversed with the, it's usually the alpha acids that bring on the bitterness first, then the beta acid is usually about half that, and that's what kind of kicks in as it ages. But it seems like on a lot of these that they're getting bitter, at least for the Centennial Cascade versions. They're getting bitter over time. More bitterness is coming in. At least that's what the perceived is to me. The perceived bitterness is getting higher as these beers age. But this is a beer that I could see drinking aged. If I was going to make this, make it 6 months out, leave it in a keg, or if you really wanted to bottle it, and just let it sit there. I think you can't taste the alcohol, because I was going to say, I think of this as an IPA, like a lower end IPA, but because of the alcohol level, I guess you could say it's almost a double IPA. Well, it would be in my eyes. 6.5 and up is a double. I think it works. I think it needs a little bit more of a backbone. Like I've said on some of these other ones, now that we're progressing into bigger malt bills or grain bills, this one needs a little bit more. Just that 2-row isn't working for me. Maybe drop half a pound of the 2-row and add like a 20 or a 40 or something, just to add some caramel in there. But otherwise, this has turned out well, in my opinion. I will be doing a side-by-side of beer 4 and 5 along with this, just to see what 3 different grains, I wouldn't say specialty, but addition. So you have your base as your 2-row, then other grains, what the difference in them are, and we'll see if they all continue to get better like this one did. So if you like this video, check out some more homebrew videos over here, and until next time, happy brewing.